Did you guys see any of the S1 from SpaceX yesterday?
I did not.
I haven't read it because I'm having everybody read it to me. So I'm being a little bit lazy. And it's funny. It's if you dislike Trump and Musk, you're finding every negative money losing thing you can about it. And if you're a Musk fan and an optimist, then you're finding why it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's the future of America.
Yeah, so I think it was early April on my podcast, Betting the Squirrel and I did a co-author report on it. We valued it, and then we did a podcast on it. And so I'm kind of up to speed on this, and I
Good.
love IPOs anyways. So being the biggest IPO ever, I figured I'd get into it. This thing is an absolute joke. I mean, we're talking about $2 trillion. These guys, Robert, they have 6.5 billion of EBITDA, and now
Right.
six and a
I
half
own it.
billion.
I own it, guys. I own it in a fund that owns it. I have a little private equity investment that owns it directly. I got like $100,000 of my money in it, so I'm happy.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was a good thing to be involved with if you bought it in the private market. I mean,
And
even
that-
as late as
And that was an 800 million value. It was worth about $100,000. So if it's
Wow.
Woo!
Cheddar.
That's a good one. That's a
big
good
party
one.
in Flower Town on me.
Coming to Philly, baby.
Cheesesteaks for all my friends.
I'll fly all the crew out on privates, and we can have a party in my
Love
big
it.
house.
Love it.
It comes out that like 2 weeks ago, and I think I sent this to our chat, that they are going to rent the Colossus data center in Memphis, which is 2 gigawatts of power and 550,000 GPUs. Maybe 95% of them are H100s. They're going to rent it to Anthropic, right? Yesterday, the terms of the deal came out. They're paying them one and a quarter billion a month. So they're getting 15 billion a year in income on that thing. And I kind of had assumed that, basically that they had a problem in the sense of they had an IPO coming and their EBITDA was just not there. And I say this as a pretty recently new Starlink customer, and I'm happy with the Starlink product. Starlink's a good business, and it's growing decently. But it's just, we've seen satellite businesses before. I mean, maybe 250, $300 billion business right now, which could grow farther. But like the launch business is a nothing burger completely. That's a 1 delta call option and being valued like a 25 delta. And then the XAI is a total hot dumpster fire that's losing engineers. I know that their best engineers are interviewing across, I want to say the street because that's how we talk, but across the valley, basically at all the big shops, they're losing them. And so now they got this like $15 billion boost plus whatever losses that they can recoup on it. So their EBITDA is going to be more like 25 billion this year. So then you kind of get like, oh, I'm, less insane. But like, I don't know, Robert. I called some real estate guys. Like, how do you think about income as a real estate rental guy? Like you don't put 100 times on that, do you?
No, you do not. No, you do not.
It's a 3-year contract. So the bull would say, okay, well they're getting 15 billion. Let's put a 5 cap or something stupid on that, right? And then you're going to say, oh well, it's a $300 billion asset. Well, I think we all know that like data center capacity versus demand right now is out of line. Anthropic's crushing. They come out yesterday and they doubled revenue. They're at 11 billion in revenue in the Q1, and they made money.
Mid-single digit operating profit. Big news. Yes.
Yeah. I think like 550 million of operating income on a little under 11 billion. So call it like 4%.
Right.
But whatever, making money, right? Like
Right.
I don't really care as much as I do that like they're gonna stop burning cash and they're doubling revenue. That's impressive. So and people are handing them cash hand over fist. So for them it's more about like hitting it while they're hitting it hot. But again, so if you put a 10 cap on it, and you said, okay, let's say there's 2 billion of annual GPU depreciation, so over 10 years, that's $20 billion. So you do 10 times 15 minus 20, so it's 130 plus the 250 on Starlink, plus, I don't know, 25 billion for the launch business. That's probably generous. You're just coming out around 400, like 400, maybe uppers of 500, 600. But this 1.8 is just the stupidest thing I've ever in my entire career seen from a deal, from stock. It is just got to be the sign of the top, man. That's the way I'm taking it.
It's the sign of the top, my friend.
There's always a deal. Like Rivian 2021. Blackstone was the top of finance in 2007 when they IPO'd. There's always, AOL Time Warner for the .com 25 years ago. There's always a deal. And when you think about the fact that they had to change the rules for S&P and NASDAQ inclusion, right, to make it so that they can get included 15 days after the deal. Well, why would they do that? They're doing that because everybody who wanted Starlink is long. I mean, we got a guy in this panel who's long, right? So like everybody was floating that stock around for a long time. And so it's not like there's just everybody and their mother waiting to get this. And you're floating $100 billion of stock. That's an enormous amount of paper. The green shoe itself is going to be, the 10th largest IPO ever. The shoe is going to be it's like bigger than the GM deal post GFC. And so, I just come out of that and see, okay, well, they're going to bag hold the indices, and then, the hedge funds are going to use leverage, and everybody's going to try and get it to do the hot potato game. So they get it across the line. Everyone sit on their stock for 2 weeks and then sell it to the indices, basically.
Hi, I'm David Maris. If you like what you just heard, we've tracked every single pick we make on the show, every ticker, every thesis, every entry price, over 1,100 picks and counting. We put it together in a free report with our top 10 performers, the reasoning behind each one, and a preview of our full dashboard. If you want access, the link is in the description.